Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy is retiring. After 30 years on the Supreme Court, he announced on June 27th that he would be stepping down at the end of July. This gives President Donald Trump plenty of time to nominate his replacement. In his 30 years on the court, Justice Kennedy has authored 276 majority opinions, 165 concurring opinions, and 100 dissenting opinions. Yet unlike his colleagues on the court, Justice Kennedy has not ruled according to a consistent judicial ideology. Instead, he's ruled with the progressives on the court almost as often as he's ruled with conservative justices. This has made him an important swing voter in a legion of controversial cases. It's also why he's been called the most important voter in America, and even King Kennedy. Justice Kennedy has played a huge role in liberalizing American society, and no matter who replaces him, his legacy will be hard to undo. In 1992, Justice Kennedy joined with Justices Sandra Day O'Connor and David Soter to write the plurality decision in Planned Parenthood versus Casey. This case confirmed the Roe versus Wade decision that a woman's right to privacy allows her to murder her unborn child, and it overturned a requirement that a woman notify her husband before having an abortion. In 2003, Kennedy wrote the majority opinion in Lawrence versus Texas. This case overturned a judicial precedent to make homosexual activity legal in every U.S. state and territory. It struck down anti-sodomy laws in Texas and 13 other states. It declared consensual sex a protected liberty under the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. In 2015, Kennedy cast the tie-breaking vote and authorized the majority opinion in Oberfeld versus Hodges. This landmark case struck down state bans on same-sex marriage. It ruled that same-sex couples have a right to marry guaranteed by the Due Process and Equal Protection Clauses of the 14th Amendment. So one has to ask themselves, how different would America be today if another justice was appointed in Kennedy's place? This question is interesting in that in his book, America Under Attack, Trump editor-in-chief Gerald Flurry writes that an event happened in 1986 that marked a major turning point in U.S. history. A year after this event took place, United States President Ronald Reagan nominated Judge Robert Bork to the Supreme Court. Yet within 45 minutes of his nomination, Senator Ted Kennedy took to the floor and began demonizing Bork in a shocking way. Why? Because Bork was a constitutional originalist devoted to interpreting the law as it was written. Senator Ted Kennedy argued that Judge Bork's judicial philosophy would lead to a Bork's America of back-alley abortions, segregation, censorship, and midnight police raids. None of these accusations were true, but the attack worked. The Senate did not confirm Judge Bork, and he never took a seat on the Supreme Court. President Ronald Reagan then chose Judge Anthony Kennedy as Robert Bork's replacement. The Senate unanimously confirmed Kennedy's nomination in a 97-0 vote. Justice Kennedy took his seat on the court, and in the 3 decades since, he's redefined the legal definition of things as fundamental as marriage and life itself. The tide turned in a big way in 1987. Law started to get weaker, and lawlessness started to get much, much stronger. To learn what happened the year before that made such a huge impact on America and the world, please request a free copy of Gerald Flurry's book, America Under Attack.